the responses that have been received. So ordered. Senator Cornyn, you're recognized.
Mr. Miller, you indicated that you could have appealed the non-disclosure order. Is that correct?
Senator, we could have challenged the non-disclosure order in court, but I'm unaware
Chose
of
not
the
to do
basis
so?
for that. I'm sorry, what was the
You
question?
chose not to do so?
Correct, Senator. We did not have a process in time, at that
and-
time to identify this.
And of course, the the member of Congress who was the target, because they didn't know the subpoena had been issued or that you had responded and supplied the toll records, they had no way of challenging it, correct?
You're absolutely right, Senator, that a member of Congress could not have challenged a subpoena that they did not know about. That's why we have focused our process going forward on notice to the greatest extent we can to members.
Mr. McAtee, can you explain why, for example, the toll records of Speaker McCarthy and Senator Cruz were treated differently?
Certainly. In fact, Senator Graham's demonstratives, I think, capture the point rather well. There are three categories of documents at issue here. Senator Graham pointed out two of them. One category is the Senate Sergeant at Arms account, and you saw that invoice. None of the subpoenas that we received related to that sort, so we'll put that to the side. The second category that Senator Graham spoke to were campaign accounts, and he showed his invoice. As I testified earlier, when we received a request for such a campaign account for two sitting members of Congress, we did what I told you we did earlier, and we exercised what I believe was reasonable diligence. You're asking appropriately about a third category. Third category being personal numbers, numbers that we would have no reason to know belong to a senator or to a House of Representative member. And I'll make clear that with respect to both Mr. Speaker McCarthy's information as well as Representative Perry's information, those were the third and fourth subpoenas that we received respectively from Special Counsel's office. In our database of customers, there are over 2,000 Kevin McCarthy's in our system. In our database, there are over 1,500 Scott Perry's in our system. So because it was not covered by 6628, which we've talked about, the folks in the subpoena center did their job and did not alert us that those could have been members of Congress. And looking back, I understand why. But now moving forward, we'll be creating that database that I talked about in my written testimony, in which any member of Congress will be able to identify a phone number belonging to them to close that loophole to make sure that we're on top of it moving forward better today than we were yesterday.
I'm looking at an email dated June the 22nd, 2023. It looks like somebody named Molly had sent an email to Tad.
That sounds familiar.
And raising the issue of a state constitutional privilege. And interestingly quotes the 11th Circuit in a 1986 case that said that the mere fact a communication was made with a particular person at a particular time might convey a confidential substantive message within the confines of an applicable privilege. So Molly, I guess it was, who raised the issue of whether there was a constitutional privilege that applied here, not to the content, but to the fact of the communication as reflected in the toll record, correct?
Yes, Senator. That was part of our diligence. When we became aware of these subpoenas, in particular, as has been publicly mentioned, the subpoena on Senator Cruz's campaign account, we began to research this very issue. And you can respect the fact that that email represents a whole lot of work behind it, not just internally at AT&T, but in consulting with experts as well. And that's how we were able to find the case citations. And we did what I think is always fair game, which is we asked a question. We didn't know the answer. I don't know the answer today, but we asked the question.
And Jack Smith did not respond to a inquiry as to whether they had considered whether the speech and debate clause was implicated, correct?
That's correct, Senator.
Well, I hope you gave AT&T gives Molly a promotion or a bonus for doing what every good lawyer is supposed to do, which is to spot issues and then to ask questions. Thank you. Madam Chairman.
Senator Padilla?